Hello folks, welcome to my channel Code with Infinite. In this tutorial, you will write, run and understand your first Java code. So without a further ado, let's get started. The very first step is to create a workspace. So you can create a folder in your desktop or anywhere in your machine like I have created in my desktop. So the folder is workspace. Okay. Now we'll open Eclipse with this workspace as a folder. I've copied the path. Now I have opened the Eclipse and I'll change the workspace from default to my workspace which I have created now. Okay. Now click on launch. Okay, now the ID is open. So we can close this welcome font. We get this kind of view. Now our very first objective is to create a Java project because we want to write our first Java code. To create your first Java project, you can click on create a Java project over here. And then you can give a name to your project, or the other way around is you can go to file, new, and you will get an option Java project. It gives you the same dialog that you get from when you click on create a Java project. Enter the project name. I'll keep it as demo and click on finish. You have created your first Java project, which is demo over here, and in the package explorer you can see the same. Let's close this task list. We don't require this as of now. We'll close this outline also. We don't require this. Now let's first understand what is there inside a Java project. So inside a Java project you can see that there is something called as JRE system library. If you remember, I have told you that with JDK some libraries are installed which is required to run a Java code, and now these are only those libraries. If you expand your JRE system library, you can see there are a lot of files which are nothing but libraries which will help you to write and run your Java code. Next is we see a directory which is called as SRC. Okay, now what is this SRC directory? All your Java code that you write in your Java application, that all main Java code or that all source code will be stored under this SRC, or I can say that all the source code that you will write to develop a Java application has to be written inside this SRC. Inside this SRC already there is a demo kind of file created. We'll delete this file. We'll create our own file. Now to run your Java code, what you have to do is you have to create a class. Okay, so a class can be there inside a package. So let's create a package first inside a directory. So the package name I'll give same as demo and click on finish. Now see, these packages are actually a logical grouping of classes. When you have multiple classes in your Java project, so say there are 10 numbers of Java classes in your project, so all of them you will group together inside a single package. To relate with packages, if you take an example of engineering colleges, right, over there you have different branches, and inside different branches there are n number of students. So we do a logical grouping of student on the basis of their branches under different branches. So same here, the branch is package. You can relate that branch of your engineering is nothing but package, and all of the classes that are of similar kind that will be created inside that same package. So we have a package now which is demo. Now inside this we'll create a class. Click on, you have to click on the package, then right click new. There is something called as class. Click on this class and you give a name, say first code, and click on finish. So now you have your first class. Now on this class we'll write our first code. Type there main and control space. Okay, you get an option for main method, hit on enter. Now this is your main method. Why do we require main method? Because whenever you run a Java code, this main method is the entry point of your Java application. Now inside this, let's write some code. So say I'm writing sysout. So in different languages, such as we have somewhere print, we have println to print the different kind of output into the console. Similarly in Java, there is something called as system.out.println. Okay. Now the shortcut to write this is you just write syso, do a control space bar, you get an option, hit on enter. Let's print out some text. Say hello infinite. Now we'll save this, control S. Now you have created your first Java code. Now there are n number of ways by which you can run your Java code. But before we go forward and run our Java code, let's do one thing. Let's understand this code a bit more. Okay, to understand all of this, we'll take an help of a snapshot. Now, in this snapshot, you can see that we have the same code that we have written in our Eclipse. So let's decode one by one. So this is a class, okay, and this class is inside a package which is called as demo, right? You have seen that it's inside a package demo, and package are nothing but logical grouping of your classes. Now this class will have a name which is first code. So first code is a class name. Now this is a method, public static void main, and in the argument string array, then the name of the argument, and this curly braces open and close completely forms a method in Java. Now what all things are there in Java when you create a method? So there is first thing which is access specifier, which is public. The second is static, which is a keyword. The third is a return type. So if a method does not return anything, we put it as void. Okay. The fourth is name of the method, which is main here. The next is the argument that this main method requires, which is nothing but it's an array of string argument. This is string data type. This is an array, and so we called it as a array of string argument. Don't be bothered about what is access specifier, keyword, return type, method. You learn all of this when you proceed further in the class. I'm just giving a brief of this code snippet so that you get acquainted with this kind of codes. On the left hand side, you have your project explorer where you will see your project. This is your project name. Then you have your JRE system library where you have all the libraries that will support you to write and run your Java code. Next is your source code directory. SRC is a directory where all your Java code, all your source Java code are present. Okay. Next is package. Package is logical grouping of classes. So this is a demo, and inside packages you have your class, which is first code.java. All the classes in Java, when you create, they have an extension .java. So I hope this code snippet is clear. Now let's proceed further and check how can we run this Java code snippet from Eclipse. There are n number of ways. We'll try all of them one by one. Okay, to run your application from Eclipse, you can see over here there's something called as run your first code. Okay, you can click on this button, your code will run. Let's click. Yeah, in the console below you can see you are getting hello infinite, right? So this was the first way to run your Java code. The next is you can click anywhere, either on the class, on the package, or on the project, and then you can do a click and you will get something as run as, and you can click on Java application. So this way also you can run your Java application. The same you can click on SRC also and then right click, run as Java application. The same you can run from right click on this class, right click, run as Java application. So you can run by clicking anywhere in your class, package, directory, or your project. Okay. So what did you observe now? So whenever you run your Java application, what is getting printed? Hello infinite. And where have you written your hello infinite? Inside main method. So this tells that main method is the entry point of your Java application. Whenever you run your application, the JVM, there is something called as JVM, Java Virtual Machine, which is downloaded along with your JDK that you have downloaded. So that JVM looks for main method in your code. When it finds a main method, it starts its execution. So main method is the first entry point of your Java application. Now if you see that this main method is accepting a string of argument. So is there any way that we can pass this string of array to this main method? Yes, there is a way, and that is second way by which you can run your Java application. For that, either right click anywhere and do run as, run configuration, okay, or click over here, you will get something as run configuration. This time we are using the second option. Instead of run as Java application, we are using run configurations. Click on this. Now over here you will see that the project selected is demo, which is well and good. Now we'll come to the main class. What is main class? Our first code, demo dot first code, that is also good. So come back to argument. Now give the argument over here. So it takes a string side, right? We are giving ABC DEF. Click on apply and run. So we get hello infinite because we haven't printed argument, right? Let's try to print this argument. So this is an array. So I am going to use for loop. Now again, don't be worried about this for loop, what I am writing. This all will be covered in your upcoming sessions. I'm just using to show that the argument that you are passing from run configuration is being received in this method. Okay. Do the same. Run as, run configuration, argument, it's already there, apply, run. Okay. Now you can see that the argument is received which we have passed. Hello infinite is getting printed and both the argument ABC, DEF. So this is two way by which you can run your Java application. There is one more, which is third way. Okay. Now say there was no IDE. How would you run this Java code? Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible, but it's a tedious task. Although it's a tedious task, we'll learn how it is done, although we'll not use it in future. Okay, now assuming that there is no IDE. So how do we run it? Let's first copy this first code.java. Okay, click on it, copy. Now we'll paste it on desktop. Now create a folder in your desktop. Okay, say new manual run. Okay, open this folder, paste your .java file over here. Now we'll do some changes over here. Open it because now it's not inside a package, right? So let's remove this package and save it. Now our next step is to run this first code. So to run this first code, what you have to do is you have to compile this first code. So to compile your first code, you have to open this path in your CMD. Click on the path, type on CMD, and the path will get open in your CMD. Now why do I require to compile it? You have to compile it because whatever the code that you have written, it cannot be understood by a machine. It has to be transpiled or it has to be converted to bytecode that is understood by machine to give you an output. To convert your source code, that is .java, to your bytecode, we have a compiler in Java that is we can use with the help of a command javac. And how can we use javac? Because we have downloaded OpenJDK. So this is coming from the OpenJDK that you have downloaded. The command is javac. Name of the file first code dot extension, it's Java. Now if you don't give Java extension while you are doing a compilation using javac command, it will throw you an exception. So give first code.java, hit on enter. Once you hit on enter, you will see that there is a class file created, right? You can see the type is class file, correct? Let me zoom a bit. Yeah. So you can see the extension is first code.class. Now this is .class files are a bytecode. If you open this with say notepad, you won't be able to understand anything because this is a bytecode and it will be understood by machine, and the machine will understand this, interpret this, and will give you an output. The only thing that we can understand is hello infinite. Okay, now we have our bytecode. How do we run this? Go to the same path. There is another command, use java and the name of the file, first code. Don't use any extension, neither .java, neither .class. This java first code will do what is, it will look in this path where is a first code .class extension file available, and it will run that and give you an output. Done. Hit on enter. You got the output hello infinite. So you saw, right, without an idea how tedious task it is to write and develop or run a Java code itself, right? Okay, now let's close this. Let's come back to our IDE. When we have run our Java code manually using command line in previous step, you saw that there was .class created, right? So is it the same happening with Eclipse? Yeah, it's the same happening here. But all those things are being internally done. You don't have to be worried about it. So how can we check? We can check that. Right click on project. There is an option called as show in and System Explorer. So it will take you to the path where you have your project, right? Demo is a project, open it. You see that there is something called as bin, right? Bin is created. This bin you haven't created on Eclipse. So this bin is the one that holds or keeps all the bytecode. If you open, you will see there is something called as demo, and it will have the bytecode with .class extension. Now you understand how it's easy to write and run your Java code with IDE, and what is the use of IDE, right? You get so many options using for sysout, for writing your main method and all. Okay, so this is all about your first Java code, how to run it. Now what we can do is, in the same project, let's try something here and there. Okay, what we'll do is, let's create one more Java class. New class, will give second code. Hit on enter. We'll have a main method. Okay, and let's do a sysout. Over here we'll write say subscribe, please subscribe. Okay, now save it. Now in this Java project we have two Java class, and in both of them there are two main methods. Now how will the JVM understand where is the entry point of the application? So it's simple. If you click here and run your application, JVM will understand this is the main method. Okay, you will get an output as subscribe. If you click here and run this application, you will get the output as hello infinite. As the JVM will assume that your first code main method is the main method. Okay, now if you click on demo and run your application, or if you click on src and run your application, or if you click on demo, the project itself, and run the application, what happens is, whichever is the previous run method, that will get executed. So say I'm executing second code and then clicking on your project and making a run. Okay, so you'll see that you're getting subscribe. If you click on first code and run this first code, so this is the latest one. Now again click on demo and run your application, so you get hello infinite. So if you click on the file where main method is executed and run them, then those main methods are executed. If you click on the package or the directory or the project and run your application, then at that moment of time, whatever the last main method that is loaded in the JVM, that will get executed. Let's try that. Can we have two main method in same class? No, we cannot have two main method in same class, because again there will be an ambiguity. The JVM will not be able to understand what will be the entry point of execution, whether this main method or this main method. So you cannot have two main method in the same class. The same two main method, exactly same. Okay, let's remove this. Okay, now let's try with something else. Let's try changing this data type. Instead of string, I'll give it as integer. Okay, let's save this. You don't get any compile time exception. But let's try to run this. It is on first code, right? What it's saying, main method not found in class demo.firstCode. Okay, so you cannot make change to main method, otherwise the JVM will not be able to find the main method. Let's change it back. Okay, that's all for this video. In the next tutorial, you learn about the complete architecture of Java. All those things that I am talking about, the JDK, the JVM, the JRE, the compiler, the interpreter, these all combine to form a Java architecture, your bytecode, source code. So all of those things we will learn in our next tutorial. That will be very interesting about the architecture of Java. Okay, and that's all for this tutorial. Thank you. See you in the next video.